Welcome back to my podcast, Life Interrupted. My name is Janelle. Thanks for tuning in. I've had clients say to me, Janelle, I know what I saw. I know what happened, but I still can't shake this feeling that maybe I made it all up. They were trained to second guess their truth. How many of you second guess yourself before you even finish your thought? You're already wondering, was that right? Did I read that wrong? Am I overreacting? Maybe it wasn't so bad. My siblings turned out fine. Everyone seems to love him. Maybe it's me. He's smart, he's charming, with a successful career. Everyone loves my mom. If there were truth to my thoughts, people would notice, right? Wrong. You know that a narcissist doesn't expose themselves to everyone. They are Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy to the world, and their true nature is only reserved for the people they let into their world. I want you to know you're not losing your mind. If you're watching this episode, you've probably already done some work around narcissistic abuse, or maybe someone in your life is starting to question their relationship. Either way, go ahead and share this episode because someone needs to hear this. Today, I'm going to discuss 5 reasons why you're having a hard time trusting yourself after narcissistic abuse. And I mean really trust yourself, your gut, your memory, your emotions, your choices. I'm going to break down exactly what happened to your self-trust, why it makes sense that it did happen, and what it's going to take to rebuild it. Let's get started. Reason number 1, gaslighting rewires how you process reality. It's important to understand gaslighting because a lot of folks misuse the term. The truth is, gaslighting isn't just lying. It's a sustained, deliberate campaign to make you question your own perception. The narcissist will say, that didn't happen. Yep, you're imagining things. You're just too sensitive. Their goal is for you to lose trust in your perception of events and lose faith in your judgment. Over time, and I mean months or years, your brain starts to defer to the other person's versions of events instead of your own. You stop trusting your memory, you stop trusting what you saw and what you heard. And here's the truth, you did that to survive. Your nervous system learned that trusting yourself is more dangerous than trusting them. That's not weakness, that's called adaptation. One solution is writing things down. You're not proving a point to anyone but yourself. When you notice something, write it down immediately. Take a picture, take a video recording. The goal is to rebuild the evidence that your perception is real. Reason number 2, your emotions were treated as invalid information. How many of you were told indirectly or directly that your feelings were wrong? You're overreacting, you're just dramatic. When this happens consistently, you learn to distrust your own emotional response as a source of information. Anger tells you that a boundary was crossed. Discomfort tells you that something is off. Fear tells you that there's a threat. But after narcissistic abuse, you've been trained to dismiss it all. So now you walk through life ignoring the signals your body is sending you, and then you're wondering why you keep ending up in the same situation. One solution is, before you dismiss the feeling, ask yourself one question. If I believe this feeling was giving me accurate information right now, what would I do? You don't have to act on it, just practice taking it seriously. I want you to pause here for a second, okay? If this episode is resonating with you, do me a favor and hit the like button. It helps my podcast reach the people who need it the most. And if you know someone who is in this process of healing from narcissistic abuse, share this episode with them. Okay, let's keep going. Reason number 3, you were punished for being right. This one is important because in a narcissistic relationship, you were often right. You saw the inconsistencies, you noticed the manipulation, and you questioned the behavior. And what happened when you were right? You were punished. Guilt trip, silent treatment, aka stonewalling. You were raged at, you were accused of doing whatever came to the person's mind. Your brain learned something dangerous from this, that being right leads to pain. So, your nervous system found a solution. Doubt yourself, second guess everything, and stay confused. Confusion is safer than the consequences of being certain. Second guessing wasn't a flaw. It was a coping strategy that kept you safe. You were right to want to leave, but you stayed out of guilt, confusion, and fear. After all, you were one of the few people who saw behind the mask. You probably asked, who would believe me? Be gentle to yourself when navigating this. It's easier to say what you should have done now that you're out of the situation and rebuilding. Reason number 4, hypervigilance replaced intuition. After living in an unpredictable environment, and yes, narcissistic relationships are always unpredictable, your nervous system goes into a state of hypervigilance. Your brain is constantly scanning. Is something wrong? Are they angry? What's the tone of their text? I don't know if you guys remember the movie Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts. Her character was always in a state of hypervigilance. The cans in the cupboard had to be a particular way. The hand towels had to be a particular way. She made sure the house was always clean so her husband wouldn't get upset with her. Her environment was unpredictable. Even after she faked her death, she was still very hypervigilant, which is understandable. The problem is hypervigilance and intuition are not the same thing. Intuition is a clear and grounded signal. Hypervigilance is noise. It's constant, anxious, and exhausting noise. Everything feels like a threat, and you can no longer tell the difference between a real red flag and a nervous system misfiring. So you stop mistrusting your gut altogether because you can't tell which signal is real. One thing that you can do is when you feel a strong gut reaction, check your body first. Is your chest tight? Your breathing shallow? Your jaw clenched? That's your threat response activating. Remember, regulation first. A calm nervous system gives you clear information. Reason number 5, you internalize their voice as your own. This is a big one. When someone experiences prolonged abuse, it's easy to internalize the words of the abuser, especially if you don't have anything or anyone in your life to help you counter the attack. I've seen this often with some of my previous clients. After years of being told you're too needy, you're delusional, and you're the problem, you're not easy to love, you stop questioning whether it's true. You just start believing it. Their voice becomes your inner critic, and now you can't trust yourself because the voice in your head doing all the doubting isn't even yours. It was given to you. The truth is, your core belief about yourself was written by someone else who benefited from you believing them. That's not the truth about you. That's a story someone else needed to tell you so they could stay in control. I want you guys to take away something from this video. Let's pull everything together. You can't trust yourself after narcissistic abuse because your nervous system adapted to an environment where trusting yourself was dangerous. Your perception was hijacked. Your emotions were invalidated. Being right got you punished, and your intuition got buried under hypervigilance, and someone lived in your mind rent-free. That is not a character flaw, that is a trauma response. The good part is that your trauma response can be unlearned. It does take time, and rebuilding self-trust is not a one-day fix. It's slow, deliberate, and action-oriented. You're choosing to take your own signals seriously again. It starts small by writing down what you noticed, sitting with your emotions before dismissing it, and by asking yourself, what would you believe if you weren't afraid to be wrong? The goal isn't to trust yourself perfectly or believe yourself right away. The goal is to stop automatically trusting everyone else over yourself and be open to the idea that you can actually be right. I strongly encourage you to seek out a support group and/or therapy if that's financially attainable. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Life Interrupted. If this resonates with you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 5 reasons hit home the most. Help each other out in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you guys next week. Bye for now.